would you mind casting this over the VOD? And I said, okay. So here we are today. Pogdi was an editor for an esports magazine. He interviewed Apollo, like, I don't know, a million years ago at this point, and he is an esports enthusiast. And yeah, this is Suppy's cast on his YouTube channel. If you don't know who Suppy is, I'm sure that you're not a StarCraft 2 enthusiast as well. Suppy is an American Zerg player. He did very, very well for an American Zerg player. And he started casting Brood War on his YouTube channel back in 2007, 15 years ago. So I'll just go ahead and read from Wikipedia here. In 2007, then known as Superior Wolf, Suppy took up commentating and became the first YouTube commentator for Brood War. However, his lack of knowledge and his high-pitched voice were highly ridiculed, inciting several others to take up commentating, including Klazert, Diggity, and Moletrap. Now that's a story for you, right? Like, he's this, this 13-year-old kid, he's kind of got a higher voice, hasn't quite gone through puberty yet. Like, it's not his fault. And he's young, and he doesn't know a ton about Brood War, but he's the first person to be like, yeah, we need to get some Brood War casting on YouTube here. Which is, 2-3 years maybe after YouTube was a thing. So he's super early on it, and then he doesn't really succeed with it. But then other people are encouraged by him, and they want to do better than he does. And so they start casting. So he inspired a bunch of people to cast Brood War that maybe otherwise wouldn't have. It's a very weird legacy for him. So he basically cast Brood War from 07 all the way to 2012. Doesn't really get all that many views. He's very consistent with it, though. He's doing great matchups with great players. But again, people are just turned off from him for reasons that are before mentioned. He moves over to StarCraft 2 in 2012. He starts competing in StarCraft 2 in 2012. Qualifies for WCS stuff, which is fantastic. Does a ton of StarCraft 2 stuff. Does a little bit of Heroes of the Storm when that comes out in 2015. And then moves into Minecraft in 2015. So he's got a couple years of Minecraft YouTubing. Woof. Then he goes into Counter-Strike Go a tiny bit in 2017. Does a tiny bit of StarCraft Remastered stuff in 2018. And then he turns his channel directly into a YouTube channel about medical stuff. So basically, he's a doctor now. Not basically, he is a doctor now. And he just starts doing YouTube videos during his residency and during his medical training about all of the stuff that he's learning and putting out educational videos and stuff. And that's what it is until today. So the man's a doctor. His YouTube channel is officially his name, MD. I'll be sure to put a link of that into the description. Now, this, again, Bladestorm, weird map, pretty short rush distance here. Macro hatch inside the main base for Zergli, and then a pool, and then takes a natural out here. So again, old replay. He mentions at the start of this replay that it's an old replay for him in 2007. So, I mean, this is GUR stuff, right? So this is probably 2002, 2003, something like that. So this replay would never work, even if I could find it. I couldn't get it to load on the current client, not even a little bit. So thanks again to Suppy. This is probably going to get copyright struck. So if you see this, I love you, man. I'm a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of Suppy. What is... BattleNet is making noise at me. Go away, BattleNet. Sorry. So just trying to do some link pressure here. Zealots on the ramp. I guess I should try to cast this game, too. It is weird, because, again, I don't get the camera. I have to rely on 13-year-old Suppy's camera movements here. But Citadel's coming in. We don't get a production tab either, because this is old-school Brood War, which is hilarious. And, man, more housekeeping, right? This is back before YouTube lets you upload videos longer than 10 minutes. So he has to split this game into multiple parts, because it's longer than a 10-minute replay. So I'm not going to tell you how many parts there are. That would spoil it. But, yeah, this is such a blast from the past. Hydralisk Den coming in. Neat stuff, I guess. We can't see the worker counts for anybody because this, again, is the old client. Makes it weird that way. On the other side, obviously, the Protoss player's going for Zealot leg style stuff. Might be making a little DT stuff as well. The macro hatch in the main, I like it. It's just a little bit early. But again, these are older builds. This is not traditional builds that we see in 2022 or even 2019, 2018, 2017. Things have changed a lot since this game was played, and that's something you always have to remember when you're watching games from, literally 20 years ago at this point. Brood War, man, an eternal game. So, just counting the Zealot count. These Lings know what's up. Zergling really wants to kill a probe, I guess. I don't know, man. I need you to look at the Protoss base, man. Obviously, there's got to be a Stargate on the way, right? You're making some Corsairs, or is this even before Beast who popularized the Corsair opening in ZVP. There's a lair coming up here for Zergli. Drone count looks a little bit oversaturated here at the main base, actually, which is weird. But again, weird stuff. We got a Ling versus Zealot battle in the middle. The Zealots are going to die. They're outnumbered enough. Although, again, they're slippery boys. They're going to try to get the heck on out of here. Woof. So, yeah, and look at the little rainbow artifacts. So this is, man, they fixed that in one of the patches for StarCraft. I remember that one. It was like 2013 or something. They fixed this little rainbowing artifact stuff you got sometimes when you're playing StarCraft. Hilarious. Hilarious stuff. Still no second base at all here from Gur, who is playing Protoss. Why do I think Gur's a Terran player? I feel like the games that I played, or the games of his that I've cast before, he's been playing Terran, but I don't know. Maybe he's all over the place. So let's do a quick Google search on the phone. Maybe we can look at the Protoss base at some point here. And again, I know you guys have some frustrations with how I cast. So this is me being like, come on, man, look at the Protoss base. We got to see what tech they have. And if you listen closely, you can hear him. Right? He sounds like he's about 10, but he's about 13 at this point. Yeah, so I mean, just, does he even have a second base yet? No, he's got the Templar Archives, which Overlord's going to scout. There we go. High Templar coming out, not Dark Templar, but High Templar on the defense against this incoming Hydra push. We've seen this a billion times. Second gas now coming up from Gur. Second base now coming up. And just look at this setup here. Look at this defensive setup from Gur. Again, Gur's a Canadian player. What the heck? Suspicious action. Player, move on, Zerg Extractor. What is that notification? What does that mean? That's so weird. That's so weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. Gur's a Protoss player. I don't know why I was confusing him with someone who's a Terran player. Anyway, this is Gur, so he's American. We're going to do a quick search for Zergli as well here. But yeah, Hydras are out. Overlords don't have speed yet. He's telling us that the Zerg should expand soon. And he is! Third base happening here at about 7 minutes into the match. No. Zergli. I want you to search Zergli for me. That's got to be him. So it's Sigamari is his name. And he's a Korean player. Okay. So yeah. So this is, you might know him. I mean, this is just old stuff, man. He's 38 today, so he's old. Sigamari. He played for Samsung Khan. Was his clan. Anyway, yo, Storm on the defense against this Ling Hydra Lurker style attack. The cannons are getting serious. Hits off Lurkers going for the run by into the main base possibly. Can they get there? There's a bit of a probe block. They're trying to use their little probe bodies. Beautiful. Oh, several probes do die with the Storm, but the Lurkers got killed. And that's all that really matters here. Trying to get that Lurker burrowed in. Does manage to just get in there with like 4 HP. Just 1 bar of health there. And we'll do some harassing. Did just kill a Zealot. Killed 2 Zealots. And has 3 kills at this point. Yeah, so already, interesting game for sure. Weird map. Blade Storm. What the heck are we even doing here? I don't know. Wait, no Dragoons either. Which we really should start making some Dragoons here to deal with these Lurkers. But again, this is a super old replay. Like, Gur is the one dude, right? He won an OSL back in, like, the 90s? I don't know, man. I need to look this guy up again. Because I haven't cast a game with Gur in a long time. Because, again, he retired forever ago. Alright, part 2 of the cast. This is going to be choppy. So we have Lurkers harassing the front door of the expansion for Gur here. Again, the Canadian Zerg player. Clicking off an ad. Storm taking down the Lurkers. Man, this is such a blast from the past. All right, man. Zergling's coming in. You can't storm us all. There's DTs in the mix, but there's an Overlord. Holy Zerg blood. Yo! That's what we're talking about here. All right, so yeah, Gur was an OSL champion at Hanaro OSL 16th of May 2000. Wait, through the 1st of November 2000. Whatever. The year 2000, he was the OSL champion. That's how good. He's the only foreigner to ever win a premier tournament in Brood War. And I know he did it in the year 2000, which is an eon ago for all you people, but seriously, respect Gur. Put some respect on Gur's name. Archon Zealot, actually not bad at dealing with lurkers. I mean, if you're having trouble with lurkers as a Protoss, this is probably what you want to do. A lot of Zealots, a lot of Archons, especially if they have the Dark Swarm supporting them. Now, see, this is why Bisu came up with that Corsair strategy, is because this Muta tech switch is going to be brutal. You got to get cannons. I mean, 3 cannons in the main base is actually enough to shove the Mutas away. They're maybe harassing, yeah, that forge. No upgrades seem to be active on it at this point, but man, yeah, this is the thing. If you have a bunch of Corsairs that show up, although, I don't know. I just did a Hero versus Stork game just a couple days ago where he went for the Mutas against Protoss, and there were Corsairs out, and by golly, he didn't immediately lose all of the Mutalisks to the Corsairs. I'm not going to tell you who won, but he did a lot better than I expected him to in that situation. So, you know, Corsairs are good, but they're not exactly the perfect anti-Mutalisk unit. DT's cruising around trying to see what's what and all that. 100 supply for Protoss, 72 for the Zerg right now. Not exactly where you want to be. Here at about 12 minutes into the game, but, you know, if you're going Hydras, you can feel better about it. But this Muta, hey, look, a huge round of Dragoons. Okay, fair enough. We really want to avoid the Archon. You're not great at fighting against Dragoons either. They're the Mutas, so they're backing out 4th base coming up along that left side. So if we're basing to, ooh, is there a secret? Yeah, there's got to be a secret 3rd base there in the Protoss in the bottom left, because I just saw a Pro Transfer going down that mini-map. I'm going to guess it's a minerals-only expansion. Oh, and then another expansion coming up here, a 4th base from Gur. So keeping even on the base count is Gur against Zergli. Catching some storms. Oh my gosh, the Mutas. This is how you deal with Mutas if you don't have any Corsairs. Dragoons, Archons, High Templar with the Storm. Beautiful stuff. So floating a bunch of cash here is our guy Zergli. Is he having a good time with it? I don't know, man. Whoop. 5th base coming in. Now, there aren't a lot of places to expand on this map. It does look like a 3-player map, though. So that bottom right looked like a spawn location to you. Maybe it's a 4-player map, actually. Wow. Pretty small for a 4-player map, I gotta say. Huh. All right. So cannoning up real nicely there. Zerg's maybe considering expanding. I don't know. I don't rightly know. Oh, that's great. I love you, Suppy. I love you so much. This is so adorable. That's so nice. Man, I forgot how Archons looked in the original StarCraft. They're kind of fuzzy, right? They're a lot clearer in the HD remaster for obvious reasons. Anywho, still committing to Mutalisks. Here is our guy Zergli. And the Overlords are just kind of allowed to do whatever they want for the most part. Muta's coming back on in to say, all right, we have upgrades. I bet they have upgrades now. Show it. There's no gas down here, right? Yeah. So no gas. Those little pocket expansions never do. And we really only ever see those back pocket expansions in older maps, like Destination, for example, where there is no gas back there. It's, if you want mineral income, great. It's safe. It's pretty easy to hold, but you're not getting the benefit of being gas for it. A lot of Sunkens up at the 3rd base. Going to be pretty good. Sunken defense, especially at this stage of the game. There's not a ton of upgrades going on. Always going to be really good. And Zergli's taking that top right base too. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases now for the Zerg. But man, it's 5 bases for the Protoss as he's expanding the bottom right spawn location as well. Yeah, look at that. Warping in. Amazing. Good stuff here. All right. This is, man, Mutalist. Rah, look what we found. Let's see, this is the power of Mutas. If there aren't Corsair balls to chase them off, you're slow, you're chasing them. Ooh, we have some Dark Archon action here. I love it. And the Mutas decide to back on out. They probably could have killed that Nexus or at least forced to cancel, but instead they're like, we dragged the army all the way to the bottom right. Maybe we can... No, they're just trying to escape. That vector is an escape vector for sure. So there's only one base on the map that hasn't been taken here at the 15-minute mark, which, you know, is a thing. It looks like there's an heck? Is that some teal over there at the 3 o'clock position? Is that teal that's attacking? I think it just killed a base over on the right side. Again, I understand y'all's frustration when I don't see it. Yeah, so 2 Archons wandered over, killed that hatchery, and then murdered some drones. So that's not great. So Gur, again, monster Canadian Protoss player. Didn't really have a super long career, but again, the only Protoss, the only foreigner to ever win a Premier Tournament. Won an OSL. What an absolute stud this dude is. So yeah, he's giving Zerg Lee everything he can handle. His macro is killer at the moment. He's at 155 supply. Oh, he turned them into Guardians. Hey, oh, Guardian play. Wow. So Psionic Storm as always has been an answer to Guardians. Oh my gosh, they're dying. They're dying. Where's the other group? The other group is dying to what? Oh, beautiful Maelstrom on all of those Guardians, but didn't finish it up. Didn't follow it up with a Psionic Storm on the combo. Oh no. Yeah, unsupported Guardians are just gonna die. Yeah, Gur knows how to deal with those. I mean, what was that? It's like 10 Guardians. That was like a 1,000 gas plus another half, like 1,500 gas there. And gone. Gone. Did they pay for themselves? No. No, there's no way. They killed like a High Templar and like 2 probes. Not at all. Beautiful Maelstrom display here from Gur. Loving that. Yeah, when the heck was this game played? I should find out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me when this Zerg Lee versus Gur game was played. Yeah, 177 to 122 supply here. We're going Ultras. Beautiful Maelstrom there too, though. Dark Archon's like, nah. Now we're just going to take you out of the battle. Those Ultras have 1-1 upgrades. Not the greatest upgrades in the world because he's been spending so much money on Mutalisk. So much gas on Mutas. So much gas on Guardians that the Ultras don't have the upgrades they need to be truly scary here. So 111 supply for the Zerg right now. 168 for the Protoss. This is not going well for Zerg Lee. Zerg Lee's having a rough go of it here. Can he hold? I don't know. It really feels like Gur has this game pretty well in hand. But yeah, this is basically considered a pretty famous replay for the old timers because of the beautiful Maelstrom usage here from Gur, which again didn't encourage consistent Maelstrom usage at all from Protoss. We barely see it. I don't know. We do see it in more games that I cast, but I think that's because RJB likes to find ones with Maelstrom and he sends those ones to me, so they're kind of self-selecting. Is he dropping? Ooh. Love it. Ultralisk drop into the main base. You know how I feel about Zerg players that drop. So good. All right, man. So just dropping. It's not like full overlords, but some Ultras pop out. 6 of them or so. Cannons are no answer to Ultralisks, even if they only have 1-1 upgrades. Zealots, though, are a bit of an answer. I'm assuming the Zealots have better upgrades than 1-1, and by golly, Zealot Archon is really good against Ultra anyway, and I mean, they showed up. They wiped him out. The Zerg player's in a lot of trouble. He's trying to come down. He's got a decent number of Lings and Ultras. Wow, more are flooding in. Psionic Storm on the defense. Kill those Lings. Weaken the Ultralisks. Allow the Archons. Give them a head start in taking those Ultralisks down is what's going on here. But no. Big time hits. Jumping on in. Man, Zerg Lee, even if he doesn't, he's been losing a lot today, but he's a Zerg player. Ooh, Maelstrom on those Lings. Very nicely done. I mean, I'm assuming they're crack Lings at this point of the game, but who knows? Ultra's going after the non-guaranteed damage, but they hurt buildings so much. That's a dead Nexus. Thank you, and good day, sir. Zerg Lee needed to do that. Ooh, Fletcher's killing some builds here. Man, if Ultra's only had splash damage in Brute War, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. Oh, another beautiful Maelstrom on the ramp. Dark Archon's like... So yeah, with those Ultralisks dead quite nicely, thanks to the power of the Maelstrom, between those two parts, I found out this game was played in 2003. It was part of the Pimpus Plays replay pack from 2003 because of the Maelstrom. All right, man. So rebuilding that base... And apparently Bladestorm is a heavily favored Zerg map, according to the write-up on Pimpus Plays from 2003. So this is a very, very popular style, just flooding Lings and Ultras across the map. And it's very, very hard to take down the expansions. And again, another Maelstrom catching 2 Ultralisks. And can you take him down before it wears off? No, you cannot. The Ultralisks Wake up. Kills a zealot. Kills another zealot. Okay, so they've got 5 armor and 2 attack. And yes, 4 kills for that Ultralisk. So the Ultralisk dies to the cannons. A little bit of a ling harass here from the probes that are long distance mining while they're waiting for the Nexus to appear. I don't know. I feel like Mass Mutalisk would do very well here. As long as you don't engage the Archons, you can pretty much wipe out the main base of the Protoss and the other bases. Cannons are not a concern once you have 3-3. Indeed. I don't know. This is such a crazy game. Yeah, I mean, this is my style. Oh my gosh, those storms are so good. Oh, that is so sick. More Maelstrom Archons in the mix. I think those guys are going to come out of Maelstrom 2 still alive, which is not a guarantee if you get Maelstrom here. Maybe if it lasted longer, it'd be considered more viable for Protoss. No. But yeah, I mean, Archons, this is not... Zergli is just zerging. There you go. I was going to say, he's not pulling back when he needs to, but there you go. Getting it back. He's a Korean Zerg. He's legitimate. He's playing this very, very well. This 9 o'clock and the 6 o'clock bases remain untaken. So it's basically, it's going to be a 6 base versus a 6 base scenario here, where the Zerg player doesn't want to be. I mean, this is being extremely cost efficient for Archive Kerr. Archon's dying, another sick Maelstrom, and it's Maelstrom Storm combo! That's the one! That's what we're talking about here. Wow. Ling's just eating everything that they can possibly find. I mean, they have 2 attack right now. 2 attack and 2 attack and 2. So 2/2 Lings here at about 22 minutes in the game, which is not how you want this to be done if you're a Zerg player. You really want those 3s by now, especially since you've had enough time and you've had enough money to do it. I mean, Zerg player Protoss is sitting on 6,000 minerals and 500 gas, but is effectively maxed out, so I'm not going to kill him for that. The Zerg player, 129 supply and does not have any money at all. 100 minerals. We are doing some Archon drops at this 3 o'clock cursed base, and reinforcements try to come in, and he cuts those off with Archons and High Templar, and by golly. Yeah, man, the Archons will just eat them up. No, the Dark Archons have been doing work today. More Storm. It's an Archon kind of a day, isn't it? It's Archons and Dark Archons and High Templar providing the very important, all-important storms here. This is sick. This is some really sick stuff. Yeah, I can understand why this game was considered one of the greats and why Pogdi remembers it in 2022 and was like, yo, cast this thing. And I was like, all right, you got it. I like listening to Suppy sometimes. He's recommending lurkers in this situation. You know? I don't know. Hydras. I would go Hydras here. Maelstrom is so good. That a double! Ah! Double Maelstrom across the sky. Oh my god. That's right. Very great damage indeed. Indeed, Suppy. Ew. 198 maxed out supply here from our dude Gur. Planer is under his name Guillaume, but it's Gur here. That has been verified time and time again. Another Ling Ultra attack and another just Maelstrom's like, nah, absolutely not. We're just going to half your units, have a great time with that, and then, yeah, sure, they'll come out of Maelstrom eventually, but not going to be a good time for anyone. Serious bloodbath, but the amount of money available here, you can just pump Zealots for days for Gur with how much of a mineral bank he's got. 9,000. He almost has Oprah money right now. 176 total supply for our Protoss. But, again, starting to mine out a little bit. I mean, some of these bases are not looking all that particularly healthy. Yeah, I mean, it's 100 supply total for every drone that dies. He just picks some drones up. That was a pretty sick move. Picks the drones up, gets them out of there. Overlord, Overlord's going to do some serious work trying to save the day. Yeah, I mean, this is just Zergly zerging. I don't know that I agree with this. He's been consistently just dealt defeat after defeat after defeat. He's only really good at kills on base today. But I don't know. Maybe he's got the upgrades this time. This extra Hydra's gonna bring some Hydra to deal with these Archons, man. Archons are so good against Ultralisks. They just do the big hits, right? Blah, blah, 40 damage per hit. Blah, blah. And those Ultralisks, that armor that they've got, the 5-6 armor, 7 armor, doesn't really matter when you're taking 40 damage with every swing. DT is also a great answer there, too. As we can see, this guy chasing him away, and Overlord wanders over and says, who's doing that? Who's doing with their blades? So, yeah, this is bad for the Zerg. He needs that left side base or the right side base, or ideally both bases if he's going to hold on here economically. Is this going to work out for our guy? And I don't know. It seems like Gur's got this thing down. He's got a bank. He's got an 11,000 mineral bank. You know what would be really good here? Mass Zealot. Just pumping all of the Zealots you could possibly build. Ah, look at this. Right side getting taken by Gur. That's a death knell. This, you cannot. If you're Zergly, you can't allow him to have that right side base. Gur taking that is just the beginning of the end of days here. A couple Archons die. 6 kills on that guy. He's got 3/3/3 upgrades. He's got +3 shield upgrades. We don't see that very much. We really don't see that a lot in StarCraft. It's very expensive, but 400 for that third upgrade on the shields. But, you know, he's got enough money for it. Not that he has a ton of gas, but, you know, mineral concern is not a concern. Once again, just being forced to defend here pretty much, but, you know, it's a strategy. You defend and defend the swarms of Zerg. Get beautiful trades off on them. That's a maelstrom. That's a maelstrom. That's a maelstrom. When the storm hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's a maelstrom. Not quite enough Archons to do damage. Maybe too many Dark Archons, which is a thing. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's not a thing. Crackling to like bring it. Oh yeah, fully upgraded on the Lings and the Ultras here. Full upgrades on the Archons and the Zealots and the Dragoons. The Gateway units have their full strong upgrades. Trying to retake this 9 o'clock-ish base for the 3rd time today, it feels like, for Zergly. But it's, again, maxed out. Every time he loses some stuff, he just rebuilds it. He might have too many probes at this stage. We might see him starting to sacrifice some probes to free up some of that supply. But, I mean, this is just sick. This is a really, really, really good game. What do we got here? And and Pogdi. I tried figuring out how to pronounce your name. Is it Pogdi or Pogdi? I feel like Pogdi makes more sense, but leave me a comment. Let me know how to pronounce your name, and I'll get it right next time I talk about it on the channel. Nope, just major drops again. Who needs recalls when you just have 5 shuttles? That's what Gur says. I don't know, some Arbiters would be pretty nice here. I feel like doing some recalls, it's less supply than 5 shuttles is. Man, no gas, 1,000 minerals, more beautiful, sick maelstroms. Maybe we made too many Dark Archons. Maybe they're taking up too much of the supply here. Look at this. Ling's just running free. The natural base is mined out, but there are tech structures here. Roddick's facility in the house. Really don't probably want that one to die. This is a lot. This is a lot of Zerg. Shield battery goes down. You can tell it's an old replay because we got a shield battery. If you have a lot of Archons, though, I don't know. Shield battery is kind of awesome, right? And in the meantime, that left side 9 o'clock base goes down. So Zergly needs, I think he needs this to work. At this stage of the game, he needs to get in that main base and start wiping out tech and wiping out production facilities. But even then, yeah, and I mean, as I was saying before the 3rd part was cut off, you can just rebuild your tech structures and your production facilities on the bottom right. So losing this base, Protoss are used to losing their base in Protoss versus Terran. So I feel you need to focus on taking that left side base here, Zergly. Yeah, Zealots and Archons are very, very excellent here. So tanking, Archon doing the damage, Zealots doing their job as well. Just throwing Lings away here, but hey, here comes the cavalry. Just holding the line here. We've got Scourge connecting, I don't know, trying to connect on the shuttles here. Man, that is so much Zerg blood. Pull back. Pull back to the cannons. We need the support. Okay, so fighting alongside the cannons here. The Archons are going down. The Zerglings are killing the cannons. And can we save this base? The one Archon remaining with 2 Ultralisks. But here come the reinforcements, and here come more Zerglings. Wow. This macro from Zergly, it just never ends. Just never-ending streams of fully upgraded Cracklings and Ultralisks. No wonder. Yep, so freeing up supply with those probes. And 155 supply here, 1,200 gas, 12,000 minerals. Whew. Wow, that was a good maelstrom. Oh my gosh, they all died. No, some of them came out of it. Some of them came out of it. Why don't we see more maelstrom in the world today? Oh, that's a free High Templar. But he does get a beautiful... Oh my gosh, he died, but he got like, what, 15 lings there? That was sick. Still under 100 supply here from the Zerg. It's desperate times. Desperate times for him. And once again, I'd love to see more Hydras in the mix. That Zealot count is getting fairly heavy, though. Another sick Maelstrom. That's the thing. If you have like 8 Dark Archons, then you can cast Maelstrom a lot. We usually only ever see 1 these days. There is a best versus... Oh, Dark Archon down. There's best versus... Oh, is it Beast or somebody? There's a ZVP on Polypoid fairly recently, or Neosylphid, where, yeah, we got some Dark Archon stuff. It was neat. But it was only 1 Dark Archon, and we got like 1 Maelstrom out of it, and then the Dark Archon died. This is a committal to Dark Archon. Zerg players back up over 100 supply, which is nice, and, you know, he's better at spending his money, obviously, than Gur is, but what he's not doing is spell casting. Some Dark Swarm here, a little bit of Plague on all of these Zealots would be amazing. Sure, it's not the answer to Archons, but if you force the Protoss into Archons, then Mass Hydra does very well. Yeah, see all these Zealots? A Plague would be sick on these dudes. And it's just not happening. It's just no Defiler play at all here. Ooh, there's some teal stuff happening in the top right. I'm assuming that's an Archon drop from Gur. Just wiping out main structures in the main base, and killing drones in the top right. Minerals only expansion. Another sick Maelstrom on the rim. So sick. What units actually, says young Suppy. Yeah. Spoons there. Just cleaning it up. Just cleaning it up. And then there's another wave on the way. This is the most aggressive Ling Ultra game I've ever possibly seen in my life. And apparently that was what Bladestorm was in ZPT. You just did this. This was the meta. This isn't anything crazy that Zergly is doing. Yeah, super hats off to Suppy, man. He started his channel in 07, and he's still consistently posting stuff. He's changed what the focus of the channel is several times over the years, but he's always been here. It's crazy. And, like, hats off for being the first guy to do Brood War casting on YouTube. I mean, seriously impressive stuff, especially for somebody so young. Like, I didn't start my channel until I was, like, 30, so, you know, mid-30s, well, early 30s. I was an old man, is what I'm saying. 98 supply. This is Zergly. He's just not been able to max out today at all. A little bit of Plague on these fully upgraded Zealots would make these battles so much easier. And then it would, again, it would force Gur away from the Zealots. Maybe go heavier into Dragoons, heavier into Archons, and then you go Hydras behind it. I don't know. Again, we have the benefit of watching a lot more Brood War and playing a ton more Brood War than Zergly ever has at this point. It's 2003 for him. The most he could have been playing Brood War for 5 years. Even, did he pick it up in 98? Maybe, maybe not. That's the most he could have possibly done. So if he was a relatively, you know, it wasn't an early riser, early adopter of Brood War, then maybe he only has 2 or 3 years in StarCraft. If you're here, you've probably been watching Brood War and playing Brood War for 20 years now. So you just have a big time advantage on him, right? Yeah, so just, I mean, this is exercise in futility, it feels like at this point for our Zerg player. He's just Ling Ultra, no Hydras. He's making some Scourge to try to deal with the shuttles, but yeah, that left side and the right side base belong to the Protoss now. This is not going to be a Protoss loss. There's just no way at this stage at all. This has been, the trades have been so sick today. Like, so sick today. The spell casting, and I know I say this a lot, man, the player who spellcasts versus the player who doesn't spellcast, if that's what your situation is, it's very, very most often the player that uses spellcasters that wins. It's not a guarantee, but it is very, very frequent. As some wings do manage to make it into that main base, that's a dead ultra though. Yeah, okay, so again, just catching High Templar, catching Zealots as they come out. Yeah, 2 individual Zealots, groups of 2 or 3 here. The production is just kind of getting eaten up for Gur. Yeah, he's recognizing the game is over. There's no money income right now for the Zerg player. Like I said, he had that last-ditch chance to maybe kill the main base of Gur. I'm not sure that would have mattered in the long run, but you can't be in this economic position at 36 minutes. It's just the 6 o'clock and the 9 o'clock bases need to belong to you as the Zerg player if you're going to win. Again, if you have one and don't have the other, but the Protoss player doesn't have the other, you could probably do it. But in a situation where the Protoss has both left and right, you're done. You're toast. Even if you're playing against a Canadian OSL champion, Gur. Some of the comments on the Team Liquid thread that I found about it were like, why doesn't Gur win more often? And yeah, so it seems like he was kind of a flash in the pan. He wins an OSL. And then he never really did anything again. 3 years after he won the OSL, he's doing stuff like this, and people are wondering why we don't see this more often. And people just don't have an answer for it, you know? It's hard. It's hard to be a consistent champion in StarCraft. Those are what the Bone Dwells are. So here we go. Probes dying again to free up supply. That's cool, I guess. Bringing the drones along. Pulling the boys to try to do what we can, but I don't know. Drones aren't going to help here. Not against fully upgraded Zealots and Archons. No. It's cute. It's a really cute attempt here. But look at these Archons die. Ready for them to all die? Yeah, they're like at one shot by these Archons at this point with the upgrades that they have. And then the Storm, he saves the Storm for the Lings that... Oh, gosh. Okay, this is some of the best storming I've ever seen, and that's it. Zerg Lee taps out.